press pause, put the controller down. It's time to talk about the gaming industry. My name is TJ Leo.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is episode 99, the Gretzky number, which is dear to us somewhat, of Press Pause the Gaming Podcast. How are you, my friends?
All right.
One to go. One to go to the big triple digits. I looked it up and I was like, how many podcasts actually make it to 100? And it's very low. It's very low.
I'm not surprised. The last podcast that I listened to regularly, which was The Biggest Problem in the Universe, ended at episode 100 because of a falling out between the two hosts.
Ooh.
And the final episode didn't even have both hosts on it. It was one of them and then one of their regular guests.
That sucks.
Technically, it only made it to 99.
Yeah, I've had a couple of YouTube podcasts that I watch fall apart, and it sucks. Especially when you've listened to them for a long time, you kind of get to feel like you know them a little. I mean, you don't, but you feel that way because you hear them so often. Especially if it's longer form podcasts. Like when I used to listen to Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty on Beyond, which was their IGN PlayStation podcast, and then they left IGN to form their own company. Kind of funny, with Tim Geddes and Nick something. I can never remember Nick's last name.
And then they joined Rooster Teeth, and then that entire company imploded. Yeah,
and that whole company went down, and then Colin left. Kind of funny to form his own spiel, and that was the moment. Like I remember waking up to that news and them doing like a live stream because everyone was so upset about it and just trying to like work through it and explain what's going on and all that kind of stuff. And in hindsight, it worked out for both companies, both men. But it sucks because they were like best friends in real life. They lived together, they worked together, they whole kit and caboodle. And then when they
I wonder if that's kind of the cause of it. Like if they were just
too
like,
close.
Too close and like no time apart.
Could be.
Because then like you'd go insane.
Well, there was also, I guess, some like fundamental differences in what they wanted the direction of the company to go, and
that's also another thing. And I mean, some people can pull off that kind of partnership, but like I can't imagine living with someone and then working with them all day as well. Like I just need like it's never like, oh, I hate this person. It's just you need some time.
You need time apart
yourself.
Yeah. I don't think it was specifically between them. I think the issue was the fact that for whatever reason, and I think this was their downfall, was they had the four people that left IGN, the ones I just named, they were all co-founders, so they all had equal shares. That never works out well. You need a captain of the ship to drive it, and there was just constant wedges between Colin and other members of the founders. But it worked out.
It sounds kind of like being in a band.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then there was a wrestling show that I watched, and they broke up as well, and it sucks. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish that, you could start, especially for like kids these days who like get into listening to podcasts and stuff. It's one of those things where you wish that you could start listening to it when you're in your teens and you could continue to listen to it up until they retire, basically, 50 years later. But that's rare. I think the longest running podcast that I listen to is at 700-ish. I think, but it also has a rotating crew. There's always the same host, but it's a rotating.
That probably helps.
It probably helps. Yeah. Great show though. Great show.
That's probably why Howard Stern is still doing this stuff, even though he's been on the air for like 40 years.
He's weird. He's a weird dude.
Yeah, he's weird, but he's kind of entertaining.
he's special. He's a special guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Yeah, I guess getting to 100 is rare. I guess most podcast attempts fail at 20, so we're well past that. That is, they call that the pod death or something like that, the Deathcast episode. So we're well past that.
Yeah, I think you got to have enough to talk about to just kind of sustain. Otherwise, you just kind of run out. Which, I mean, for better or for worse, there's always something to talk about in this business.
Yeah.
But I've also seen podcasts like spiral off and become like totally different than what they started out as, and it's like, well, this isn't even the same show that I started listening to, kind of thing.
I had that problem with Critical Role, because I started watching in campaign 2, and it had a very specific what's the word I want to use? Not theme, but an air to it, a style to it. And then when they hit campaign 3, it was really, really different, to the point where it kind of turned me off, and I was like, this isn't. I don't feel like I'm watching the same show anymore. And you're kind of not. It's a whole new story, whole new characters, all that kind of stuff, right? But it felt off. It felt off, so I stopped watching at that point. But yeah, it sucks. But hopefully we just continue to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. What do you think? How long would that take? Let's see. What are we at? 2 years?
We'll give it an honest. We'll give it an honest go.
It's only 8 more years, right? No, about 10 more years. About 10 more years to get to 1,000. It's about 52. I don't know. I can't math.
Oh my god, dude! Would you just get a calculator or something?
No, I'm just gonna give up.
You're literally sitting at a computer, which is like an insanely powerful calculator.
It would require opening up another window, though, and I'm over
19 years.
At 52 episodes a year, it would take 19 years to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
So we have 17 more years to go.
Yep.
Jesus, that's a lot longer than I thought. All right, well, here's to 17 more. How old will I be then? Too old.
Yeah, that is the correct answer.
It's too old. It's too old. All right, let's get into the rigmarole. If you want the podcast edition of the show, YouTube Music's where you go. You can have it in video form or audio only form. Don't forget to join the Co-op Club Discord community server, where you can find myself and so many others talking about gaming, wrestling, and more. Link is in the description. And patreon.com /co-op entertainment, where you can throw us $1 a month to help support the channel. We greatly appreciate it.
You got it. Your brain didn't completely shut down.
No, I'm on point. Maybe. All right, let's get into what we're playing. You've been playing a classic.
Yes.
I have to ask, is this the remaster? Or is this okay, this is the remaster. Okay. Then
that will come into a lot of what I talk about.
Okay, I've prepared well then.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about it.
So, I have been playing Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. This was originally released on the PlayStation. And if you're not familiar with the Saga games, it's a turn-based RPG, but it's kind of non-linear. You've got multiple characters and multiple storylines that all kind of take place concurrently and interweave. It's kind of like Octopath Traveler. In fact, thinking about it, it's almost like it's almost like they should have called Octopath Traveler Saga Traveler Saga or something like that.
Right.
Because it's a very similar
spiritual successor.
Yeah. It's a very similar narrative setup, and depending on what you do, you may even interact with other main characters and even recruit them.
Cool.
Now, this one is a little bit different in that there are only 2 characters, rather than 5, 6, 7, which is what the games typically have. but their stories go on for much, much longer. This is not like, oh, you'll be done with each character's scenario in like, 5 hours. This is like a full game's length with just the two character stories. Um, and so it's a lot more focused than the other games in the franchise, at least up to that point, had been. Um, it it's a positive and a negative because it means there's not as much variety, but it also means that you do get a much more concise story. So it's really just a matter of preference. Um, Now, as for the thing that makes this game special, this came out, like I said, on the PlayStation, and this was the era of everything having pre-rendered backgrounds. In this game, however, every background is a watercolor painting.
I was going to say, it looks pretty.
It looks really, really pretty. And this is where things are kind of not amazing for this version of the game. So, Square has a reputation for not holding on to their assets.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that they do a better job of it now, but back in the 90s, my understanding is that once they were done developing a game, they would just, they would just wipe hard drives and reuse them for their next game, which is why we don't have like high resolution versions of the Final Fantasy 7 and 8 cinematics in those re-releases that they've done. And I am thinking that was probably the case for this game as well, because those backgrounds are very clearly upscaled in this version from what is clearly a very low resolution source. If I had to guess, I don't know this for a fact, but if I had to guess, I would say that they probably just took the assets that were on the PlayStation disc, like the ones that are optimized for, a 320 by 240 video signal, and upscaled those. Which means they are smeary. They are really, really smeary. And also, there are places where I'm sure that I can see compression artifacts being pulled into the upscale, because there are sometimes places sort of around the edges of objects that have really weird color aberrations that don't make sense, and it looks like a JPEG artifact that's been blown up by the upscaler. Now, with that said, not every background suffers as much as every other. I don't know if it's what kind of upscaling they used, or if like some of the artwork was just better suited for the type of upscaler they used, or what. But not everything is a smeary disaster, but most things are. Most things look really, really like it looks like it almost looks like somebody did an oil painting and then just started like frigging around with it before it had fully dried, and everything's just kind of smeared together. It doesn't look great. On the other hand, I'm not sure that there's anything else they could have really done, because like what else do you do in a situation like this, right? Um, and it probably doesn't look worse than just having them, be pixelated and blown up. I don't know that for sure, because I guess I could have like loaded up the game, like gotten the PlayStation version and loaded it up in an emulator, but I didn't really feel that, I didn't really feel like that was necessary. I'm pretty sure it's at least as good, if not better looking, than it would be without the upscaling, but it's really unfortunate, because I remember when I played this game originally, I was like, man, I bet these backgrounds look really good when they're not, forced into this tiny little screen resolution. And if this game ever gets re-released, it would be nice to see them in full resolution. But I guess that's just not going to happen.
It's an impossibility.
Yeah,
How's the game play? Does it at
How's
least
the
play
game
good?
play? Yeah, it's pretty good. Um it's a little bit weird. It has a battle system that's quite different from what you'd expect. Have you ever played any of the Saga games before?
I think I may have played a demo for Saga Frontier remastered, but that's about it.
Okay. So, the way it works is that you equip weapons and you get you get attacks from those weapons, and occasionally a character will uh, they'll have like a light bulb appear above their head and they'll discover a technique that they can do with that type of weapon. And fighting with melee weapons uses weapon points. So every attack has a WP requirement, and casting spells takes SP, spell points. Now, you might think it really sucks that just your basic attacks have ammunition the way that magic typically would in these games. It's like having MP for physical attacks and not just spells. However, uh, basically everybody in this game can use spells. This is a thing that ties into the story. This is a world where basically everyone can use magic with almost no effort. Like not being able to use magic is extremely rare and is essentially considered a disability. Like
Gotcha.
it is a very unusual thing. So naturally, one of the two main characters is unable to use magic.
Of course.
Um, but this also kind of ties in to the mechanics of durability because weapons in this game do have durability. But there's actually a reason for that, which is that since most people are just casting spells anyway, there's not really much need for like people to make high quality, durable weapons and tools. So there aren't a lot of blacksmiths, and most tools are just made out of wood and stone. So most of the weapons in the game have durability, so you can use a sword like 50 times before it breaks or whatever. There are steel weapons in the game, though. They're rare, but they do have unlimited durability. Um, but they're the kind of thing that you only really use for this guy, Gustav, who is he's the prince of a kingdom, and when it's discovered that he doesn't have what they call anima, which is the energy for magic, when he doesn't have anima, he's basically disowned because the kingdom he's from has a ritual. Um, Man, that's a spoiler right there in the preview video, but it's so far out of context that it probably doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah, this is a trailer.
uh, yeah, yeah. Um, right. So I was talking about the kingdom. The kingdom has a ritual where they have this magic sword, and the heir has to lift the sword, and the sword will glow. And they're like, "Oh, if that happens, they're worthy." And so he picks up the sword, and it doesn't do anything, and so he gets disowned and not exactly banished, but him and his mother leave because you know he's the firstborn son, but he's no longer eligible to take the throne. So it's kind of implied maybe they should leave the kingdom just in case the king decides, don't want to have any challenges to my second-born son's authority, right? Um, so there's that, and then the other character you play, his name is Will. He is what's called a digger, which is somebody who goes and looks for ancient relics called quells, which are objects that have particularly strong anima. Pretty much everything in the world has anima, including objects. And quells are ancient artifacts that have very strong anima. And that also ties into the way that magic works, because when you equip things, they will usually have an element associated with them. So you need to have something with that element in order to use spells from that element. So if you want to use fire magic, you have to equip like a sword or a piece of armor or something that has the fire element. Um, and so you kind of balance your weapon points, your spell points, your melee weapons, and the spells that you can cast, um, and kind of go through them to do battle. Um, makes battles a little more interesting than just hitting the fight command over and over, because you do kind of have to budget your points. You do recover a certain amount of points for both weapon and spells every turn, but it's not usually a lot. So you have to keep in mind, how much am I going through?
Yep.
I kind
Resource
of
management.
resource management. And critically, there aren't really items in this game that you can use. Like there aren't like potions or ethers or anything that you can use out of battle.
Oh, okay.
So you have to manage like that. Um, there's also these sort of Fire Emblem style tactical battles that
Oof.
crop up occasionally. I've only encountered one so far, and I actually didn't know about them because I never got this far in the game back when I played it on the PlayStation. So I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
to just cram this in here. I guess I can do this. That's a little bit strange, but whatever. Um, but I've been enjoying it
Okay.
so far. Um, it's not always clear what kind of things you can do. If I had to make any complaints about it, like sometimes you can interact with stuff that like the game hasn't really told you, hey, you can go up and like push a button on this and it'll do something. Like it doesn't really train you to look in like in spots that you might search in other games. Like it doesn't teach you to interact with crates or cupboards or anything like that, because 90% of the time there is nothing, but then once in a while there is. So I guess just go around hitting the button all the time. Um, this version of the game specifically does have some new content. There is apparently some stuff that was cut from the original game, I presume for like time reasons, that they've apparently restored. There's also the Pocket Station mini game. You remember the little PlayStation VMU style memory card they made and then never released outside of Japan?
So that's
So
in there?
Yeah, there was a Pocket Station minigame in the Japanese version of this. They've incorporated it directly into this version of the game, and it just lets you like get extra items. You just say, "Oh, go and dig for
Oh,
treasures in
I
this
see.
spot," and then you can just transfer the items that are found, and it's not really necessary. It's just like another way of getting stuff.
Right.
Which is good because there's actually not really a lot of shopping to do in this game. There is money in the game, but you so rarely use it. You don't usually get money
So you
from
find
fights.
gear from fights, I assume.
You find gear from fights or in treasure chests or whatever. It's not always a treasure chest. Sometimes it's a pile of
Oh,
rocks that are.
there it is in the top right corner there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that is.
Gotcha.
But like you find them in like dungeons or occasionally get them from battle or get them from this mini game. You can also break them down into what are called chips. It's like a crafting resource that I've yet to really make much use of, but I guess you can sell the chips and get money that way. It's kind of a hodgepodge of ideas. I mean, these games tend to be, the Saga games tend to be kind of experimental and very non-traditional, but that's also kind of the appeal to them. It's not just another, you know, standard turn-based RPG.
Did you like
So,
Frontier 1 or 2 better so far?
I would say I like Frontier 1 better. Um, but this one's still pretty good.
I just
I,
checked
I
its Metacritic. It's got an 81 from critics and a 77 from users. Let me check the first one. Not as favorable. 77 critically, 62 user score for the
Weird. I was
the
the
first
impression that
remaster.
people like Saga Frontier 1 more.
Maybe there was something like wrong with the remaster. I don't know.
No, the remaster for 1 I think is a better remaster.
I
Because they did a
don't know.
better job upscaling and retouching stuff for that game.
Your guess is as good as mine, sir.
Yeah, that's actually to speak on that. That's another thing that struck me as odd is because for Saga Frontier 1 remastered, it looked like they redid all of the character sprites, For everything else, it looked like they upscaled it and then retouched it by hand, so it looked a little bit smooth compared to the much more detailed character sprites. But I don't know for sure. That's just what it looked like to me. But these are using all the original sprites. Like there's nothing, there's no upscaling or smoothing of those, which honestly is fine, because this game already has like pretty high resolution character sprites for a PS1 game. Like you can see, how tall that character is compared to something like, the square characters in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, they all look the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Size-wise.
But I just noticed that they didn't do anything to that. Okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can't really get over the fact that the backgrounds look as
muddy as they do.
But there's really nothing to be done about that, short of getting the artist who painted them to just repaint them all from scratch, right. Which would have cost, I'm sure, way more than anything else they did for this remaster. Because the point of these remasters is to put them out and cheaply and make money on the people who are nostalgic for them or the people who've never played them before.
Right.
But you don't usually make a ton of money on this kind of stuff. So,
no.
Yeah.
It's just something extra in the portfolio.
Yeah. And I'm glad to have it. It's better to have it than not have it, but it just just lamenting the loss of the true high resolution versions of those paintings, because I bet they were incredible.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. All right. I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm kind of dancing between games again, just trying to find the next landing. I do have one review to do, but I tried a few things. I tried The Invincible, but quickly realized it was not for me. It's a walking simulator, first-person walking simulator, which I normally like, but there's usually two ways of going about a walking simulator, and the one that I don't like is the one where kind of everything's already happened and you're looking back in time at things.
Oh
yeah. It has been done well before, like Gone Home is an excellent example of how to do that properly. But this is one of those ones where you're an amnesiac, something happened and you walk a little bit, you get a flashback of something that happened before everything went to shit. You watch that cinematic and then you return back to where you were. You walk a little bit further, and another one, and then just rinse, repeat over and over and over and over again. And it's
if you're going to tell a story, how about telling the story as it's happening instead of just walking through a flashback hallway?
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to start the game at this point and then the flashbacks start from there, and then eventually, it does the whole thing where it catches up to the point where you were at, and then you continue from there, that's fine. That works. But this thing where you're constantly interrupted, in the current time frame, quickly got on my nerves. So I bounced out of that really quickly. I played a little bit more of Elementalis. That was that Zelda-like game that I showed off one time. I'm enjoying it, but in bite-sized chunks. It is very obvious that it is not even close to the quality of a 2D Zelda. There's just a lot of like open areas that are kind of just sporadically filled with, like, it doesn't feel like a real place. It feels like a game that somebody designed in like RPG Maker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it feels amateurish. That being said, though, amazing music. Acceptable Zelda 2D gameplay. Some fairly simple but interesting puzzles. But it's definitely got that like amateur hour type vibe to it, unfortunately. So I can take it bits and pieces, but it's not something I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta play more. So I'm gonna see if I can.
Some games are best enjoyed that way. So
yeah. Well, so we'll see how far I get in that. I started Aphelion, which is the space drama from Don't Nod, the Life is Strange guys, the one that got kind of schmammered in reviews, and I don't know what people are talking about because so far I'm enjoying that one. It starts off with a bang and beautiful visually, good set pieces, action, draws you in, good acting. So far I'm enjoying that one. So I just need more time with it. But so far I don't know what people are talking about on that one. I started Possessors, which is a 2D Metroid game. It's got an interesting story. You're this person who it's kind of unclear what the situation was, but you were just kind of like minding your own business in the world, and all of a sudden there was explosions and an attack of some kind, and you wake up and your legs are gone. Like they were like torn off. It's violent. Torn off, and you're basically crawling for your life as you're bleeding out, and then you meet a demon who says, who basically, you make a deal with the devil basically, and he says, if you get me to this location, I'll fix your legs and I'll save your life. And so he possesses you, fixes your legs, and then you have to do it. You have to finish your deal with him. But it's all about like it seems like the demons have come up and are the ones who attacked. And he needs you for some reason. So there's like this whole relationship dichotomy going on there. So I'm going to continue to try that one out. That's about all I can really say about it. It's a Metroid game. Combat seems fine, but I need more time with it. But the game that I can review because I finished it was one I talked about last week. Loop, which is Deer and Boy. I finished Deer and Boy. More Deer and Boy. Yeah, finished it last week. Just a quick Metacritic check-in with it is sitting at 68 Metascore from critics and 85 from users. So a little bit of a disagreement on the quality of the game there. I really enjoyed it. I finished it. It did not hold up the Pixar-ness, unfortunately, that the early game did. It takes kind of, again, I can't really say a whole lot about it because, it's such a story-based game that I don't want to spoil it. But it definitely takes a twist pretty soon after, like, I would say like 30% through the game, where it kind of goes from this cute Pixar story of a boy traveling, because of something that happened, to a very mystical, supernatural set of circumstances and story, which I knew was coming because, like I said, you can see the deer's antlers glow for some reason. So I knew something was coming, but wasn't really sure what. And, it's pretty atypical at that point. I wasn't really I wasn't as smiley or shocked at the cuteness of the opening segments. I think the lack of I think the reality of the opening scenes, where there was humans and he was traveling through construction sites and sort of real life places, really left it grounded story wise, and easy to relate to.
You don't relate to like paranormal stuff with a deer and a boy
no.
going around?
Yeah, no. It started to get a little weird. I would have preferred it had stuck to its grounded roots, I think.
And that's why I play video games, for things to get weird.
I mean, it's as with any story-based experience, it's going to be subjective, which is, I think, why the reviews are so divided. Some people probably thought it was really cool, and other people were like, it was fine.
Which is kind of how I expect it would go for anything like this, because, like you said, stories are highly subjective. Some people will love a particular type of story. Some people will hate them.
Yeah. The ending is
actually this is sort of semi-related, but
yeah.
It's something I'd like to hear your thoughts on.
Sure.
When a game is being reviewed by an outlet,
mm-hmm.
do you prefer it if the review is given to someone who likes the game or someone who dislikes the game?
Uh, I I would say neither. I would say I prefer when a review is done by somebody who has experience with the type of game that they're playing. So like,
Okay.
I would never want to read a review of WWE 2K25 from someone who's not a wrestling fan.
Right. Okay.
You know, they may have played, and NHL their whole life, or NFL, or whatever the case is, Madden, whatever the case is, but I wouldn't want to read a review from somebody who's not a wrestling fan reviewing a wrestling game. So I wouldn't want to read a review for Deer and Boy of somebody who doesn't like narrative puzzle platformers. If they didn't like Inside, I really don't have any interest in what their opinion is on this, because I can't relate to what they like. That's kind of why I go to the same review sources that I do, because I know what they like and I know what their views are on other games. So it's not necessarily that I need a wide variety of opinions in order to figure out whether I should check something out or not. I just need to stick with one source or two sources and kind of get
how to calibrate, like, if they like this, like, I know that I like this, and I know that they like this, and I like this thing that they liked, and I didn't like what they like. So you can kind of triangulate based on how they felt about a game.
Right.
Like, is this worth my time? I know that I've liked a lot of the stuff that they've liked, so if they like this, it's probably worth checking out. Okay. I think that's a great answer, because it's just something I've been sort of thinking about off and on, just in general. Like, is it better to have a review from somebody who's really into the game and isn't going to just drop it because they weren't interested in it right away? Or is it better to get a review from someone who's not really into the game and they're not, like, super invested in it?
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get it.
And I do think there's value in both, but it's this is the reason why, like, I wish that gaming sites like, IGN and GameSpot and all that, I wish that they would have, like, multiple people chiming in a game review.
Right. Yeah.
But I realize that's really hard to coordinate, because with the sheer number of games that those guys have to play, it's like,
they occasionally do it at IGN. Sometimes in a review they'll have sort of it's because they do written reviews and they do video reviews, but the written reviews sometimes will have a box, like a grade box in the written review, and it will say second take, and it will be someone else's quick kind of take on how they like it.
I forget which magazine used to do that. Was it Game Players? Was it EGM?
I think early versions of EGM had a 4 reviewer comparison.
Oh, right.
So like they would all give it a score out of 5, and then they would give you the average score between the 4 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
I think GamePro does that. Yeah, I think GamePro may have done something like that as well. But yeah,
another one.
Yeah, I it's tough, right? Because like I have found reviewers that I don't trust at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily because they're lying. Like I don't necessarily think that.
If somebody doesn't like a game, they don't like a game.
Yeah, there's ACG. Do you know ACG on YouTube?
No.
He's like a super in-depth reviewer. Like he goes hard on reviews. Like he digs. Okay. He digs. And he doesn't review it on a scale of 1 to 10. He reviews it on a buy, rent, or wait for sale.
Okay.
Recommendation, basically. And I like him. I wish I could watch more of his reviews, but they're really in depth and really long. But they're really good. But then there's guys like Splattercat Gaming, who I really like to be able to discover indie games. But he's also very, very positive on pretty much everything he showcases. So it's hard for me to like trust that I would want to play certain games, because his opinion seems to be try everything, and it's like, well,
there's just not enough time.
It's not. I can't do that. Yeah, I need you to tell me what you think is bad so that I can judge what you think is good. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said earlier, like a good comparison.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like people who only do like positive reviews, not even because they're just trying to gas up everything, but they only review what they like. It's like you don't really get calibration on their taste.
And not only that, but they probably don't get calibration on their tastes because they probably only play, very specific things, and they're missing out on stuff. Like
it sucks reviewing a bad game. Having to put the work into all that, but I think it's got to be done at some point. Sorry for taking things aside. It's what you were talking about was making me think of that, and I wanted to.
No, it's good
pick
discussion.
your brain about it before I forgot.
Yeah, no.
I've been meaning to ask you that for a while.
Yeah, no. I've always kind of once I kind of like Greg Miller for a long time. He's why I stuck with him as a reviewer, because his tastes were almost identical to mine. And so I tend to stick with specific reviewers, although I'm pretty familiar with what most of IGN staff reviewers like and don't like at this point, so I'm pretty comfortable with most of their reviews and understanding, how to calibrate to what they're talking about.
Because once you have that, it's almost like when a friend recommends a game, because a friend will know what you like, and they'll be able to say, like, if you were to ask me, "Oh, should I play this?" and it's a game that I've played, I'd be like, "Nah, that doesn't really seem like your thing." Or I think you'd be really into it, or whatever, because I have a pretty good idea of your taste. But it's similar to that. You can calibrate based on what they like and don't like. Okay.
Yeah. Good question. I like that.
Anyway, you were about to talk about the ending to this game.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, the ending was heartwarming and nice. There was unfortunately a part at like the 75%, 80% range where the game kind of takes a really unfortunate turn in terms of its gameplay. This isn't super spoilery, so I'm not going to spoil any story stuff, but
if it's a gameplay mechanic, I think it's fine.
It's just gameplay. So like, as you can see from the footage, it's 90% a side scroller puzzler adventure, platform adventure. So you're moving things, you're opening doors, you're jumping from platform to platform, blah 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 blah. Sending, and then obviously the mechanic of sending your deer to do things that you can't do in order for you both to progress, so on and so forth.
Right.
And as the game progresses, your deer also grows, which gives the deer more abilities and can do more things. But there is a part in the game that changes from a side scroller to a fixed camera 3D section.
Okay.
And it just doesn't. It overstays its welcome very quickly. It's cool for about 10 minutes, but then it just goes on for way too long. And I'm like, I could really use those 2D sections, guys. Let's get back to that. And then it doesn't really get back to that. It's kind of like the rest of the game. I
see.
And there's more to it than that, because I don't want to spoil anything.
I'm assuming that it coincides with some kind of story development, because why would you suddenly change up your gameplay so dramatically if it wasn't relevant to the story?
Yeah, and that's kind of where the problem therein lies, is I just don't think it was necessary to go the route that they chose to go. It's again, it's a subjective thing. They had a story that they wanted to tell, and they told it, and that's fine.
They clearly thought that this was the way to do it.
Yeah, and I get it. I think in the end it was not the right call, at least for me. I would have stuck with a more grounded pace, a more grounded story, less supernatural, and more this kind of stuff, and not this kind of stuff. It almost felt like two different games at a point. I don't want to be too negative on it, because I did like it and I did enjoy it, but there's a lot of narrative puzzle platformers out there that are better, unfortunately. I mean, if anyone has not played a narrative puzzle platformer before, I mean, Inside is going to be the one I recommend first and foremost every single time, because that game is near perfection. It is as close to perfection as it's a masterpiece. So it's definitely a 10 out of 10 type of game on our scale. This one,
would you consider Carrion to be a narrative puzzle platformer? Because it kind of is. Just a very gory one.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's got combat-ish though.
Yeah.
And narrative puzzle platformers don't have any combat, so it's
sort of adjacent to it.
Carrion's a unique game in a lot of ways, so that's hard to categorize. But yeah, Inside's just so good that it's a 10. This one I'd say it's a 7. It's still good. It's still enjoyable. There's another gameplay mechanic in it that I didn't even see coming. Didn't see coming at all. And that's that they have and hey, this is going to be a love it or hate it type of gameplay mechanic in this game, where it does a action sequence where you're running away from something, and it's all about trial and error. So, because you can't see what's coming, right? Because it's a side scroller. So you kind of got to wait and be like, oh, jump, do this, oh, do that, and there's unfortunately a couple of scenarios where I failed. I failed and failed a couple of times and had to repeat those sections over again. And, I'm kind of in both camps when it comes to those kind of segments. On one hand, if you nail it the first time, it's amazing, those segments. Because you feel like a badass. You feel amazing. And then if you have to redo it 2 or 3 times, you're like, it's annoying. So some of the segments I nailed, some of them I didn't. So it was a mixed bag. And there's a really excellent one near the end of the game. So I do have to give them credit for that. That it's pretty intense and pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 7. I would recommend it. Maybe wait for a sale price if you're into these kind of games. But again, if you have never played a narrative puzzle platformer, go straight for Inside. You will not be disappointed. And then maybe come back to this at some point if you want, if you like that. And that's all I got. So,
right.
Let's see. Where are we? We're at the Metacritic check-in. Shamalama.
Ooh.
And there's only one game on the Metacritic check-in this week of note, and that is Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, the remake of Assassin's Creed 4. It's doing very, very well, sitting at an 84 critically and 88 user score, so doing very well. Some people have some comments about it that it's difficult to go back to the old style of Assassin's Creed once you've played the new sort of open world action RPG style ones like Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Shadows. But they did a lot of updating to make it feel a lot more modern, and reviewers seem to really think they did an excellent job of sort of bringing it to a nice place without completely reinventing what the game is. So I will be checking this out at some point. It is on my list to take a look at. Black Flag was amazing at the time. It has not aged well. So I'm very curious to see if this one can pull me in, because it was a great game originally. But I kind of agree with a lot of the sentiments that the more modern Assassin's Creed games are much better. Although I didn't like Shadows. I feel like I got to give that game another shot. I still find it bizarre that I couldn't get into that game, because I played the shit out of Odyssey. Like I must be 300 plus hours into that game. I love that game. Valhalla, it's really good. It's one of those games where it's like, if you want value for your money, then that's a game to play. Because it's like a bajillion hours long. But it was too long for me. And then Origins is kind of somewhere in between. It's a good game, but it was the first attempt at that new style Assassin's Creed. So, so I'm looking forward to playing this one. Looking forward to some sea shanties. And that's it for the Metacritic check-in. We're in the quiet zone.
I have no attachment to this game or the remake because I never played. So
yeah, it's fair. But up, bump. That's all we got. All right. Well, I guess we should stop beating around the bush and get to the biggest news of the week. Because we all knew it was coming. And it has finally arrived. Xbox. And this is going to be another one that I treat kind of like the physical disc production from last week. It is multifaceted. There's a lot of little things to get through. So this is going to be kind of the main event of the show. We're going to spend a lot of time on this. So Microsoft, as we know, was getting ready to, quote, reset Xbox by July 6th. And in fact, on July 6th, we got all of the details of what that entails. Well, not all of the details. There's still a lot up in the air, which we'll get into. But they announced that 3,200 staff are set to lose their jobs at Xbox across the current financial year, which ends in March 2027, with 1,600 of those layoffs already done. They're done. Those guys are gone. As part of the restructure, 4 studios are leaving Xbox to new management, and 1 is now in consultation over its future. In an email sent to staff and reviewed by IGN, Xbox boss Asher Sharma called it the most significant restructure in Xbox history, insisting Microsoft's gaming business is not healthy. Overall, Microsoft's gaming business is losing about 1/5 of its entire staff. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games and legendary developer Double Fine Productions. So this is kind of the silver lining in all this. I know it's hard to find silver lining in this kind of craziness, but there is a silver lining, and that's that no studio is being closed on the first party side. So Compulsion Games and Double Fine are being... That
comes with a big asterisk, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, lots of asterisks. Not just one, lots of asterisks. But Compulsion Games and Double Fine Productions are being returned to basically who owned them before, themselves. So they are returning to independency. And Xbox is allowing them to keep the IP, their catalog, and they are giving them a runway for their next games. So assumedly that means that they have been provided with a fund of some sort to continue working on whatever their current project is, as they work towards finishing whatever they have. Obviously, we don't know what those projects are. Double Fine recently released Kiln and Keeper, and Compulsion Games released South of Midnight sometime in the last year, I think, about a year ago, ? So we do not know what either of them are working on, but it seems that they are able to continue working on them. And in Double Fine's case, the studio retains Psychonauts IP among all other IP that they own. So Xbox is basically saying, you're free to go. We're not shutting you down. Just go off into the ether. Yeah, we're not keeping your shit. Here you go. Do what you will, which is a nice change of pace from PlayStation's multiple closures. Yeah. So, good for those guys. I hope they are able to land on their feet and figure things out. And it also seems like they were able to, because of they're going back to independency. They also dodged the layoffs. So, so they seem to be okay. Meanwhile, Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered terms to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow their current projects, which Ninja Theory is obviously working on Senua, the third in the Hellblade series, and State of Decay 3 from Undead Labs. This suggests both games will release eventually, developed under new ownership. However, and this is the weird part, but I assume it's just red tape, is that Microsoft did not reveal who the new owners of those studios are. So one thing they don't mention here doesn't really affect Undead Labs, but obviously Undead Labs gets to keep the State of Decay IP, because if they're working on State of Decay 3, obviously they're keeping that, and that's their only IP, so that's nice. One thing that I did notice, and it's not really being reported specifically anywhere, but I remember watching the Xbox showcase where they revealed Senua, and thought it was a weird name, and now I'm wondering, Xbox kept the Hellblade IP.
Maybe.
That's got to be what it is. I don't know why you would keep the Hellblade IP when it's not.
I don't think it's got to be. It could very well just be a work in progress title.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could literally end up being Hellblade 3 Senua's sensuality. Who knows? Who knows what it ends up being?
I mean, we don't even know what the story is. Maybe it's a prequel.
Yeah. Who knows? So yeah, I thought I would point that out. It's an interesting omission. It could also just mean that Senua is really early in development, which would not surprise me at all, because Hellblade 2 came out like 9 months ago, something like that. I can't remember now.
It was longer ago than that.
Was it? I did an update. I'll get to the update later. Actually, I updated my list. We'll get to that in a bit. So, any theories as to who bought them? Weird.
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think of who would buy these companies, and there really isn't anyone that's gobbling up studios right now. My only thought is maybe Undead Labs was purchased by Devolver. Maybe, I don't know if they purchase studios or if they're in that business.
I don't know. I think I wouldn't even know where to begin speculating on that kind of stuff. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah. I think Ninja Theory was previously owned by Sega? Question mark?
I don't think so.
Somebody owned Ninja Theory before they were purchased. Who owned Ninja Theory before Xbox? It was previously funded by Argonaut Games, which I have no idea who they are.
Argonaut? That's the people who made Star Fox.
Huh. But Argonaut closed in 2004, though, so that doesn't make any sense.
And I have no idea.
Where
are you getting that from?
Google.
Is it okay? But is it an AI generated result?
It's from Wikipedia. It says Argonaut Games. The studio was acquired by Argonaut Games shortly after its creation in 2000, and then when Argonaut Games was liquidated in 2004, the founders bought the studio back with the help of former Argonaut CEO Jeremy Sand, officially rebranding its studio as Ninja Theory. And then it self-published between 2004 and 2018 until being purchased by Xbox. It looks like it had a huge... Oh, okay. So it was Sony. I should have known that. I'm an idiot. It was Sony. They had a huge partnership with Sony because these are the guys that made Heavenly Sword. What was that other one that I really loved? Enslaved. Odyssey to the West. I love that game. Interesting. I can't see Sony buying them though. That makes no sense. They don't have any time for acquisitions right now. Yeah, I'll be very interested to see who purchased these guys. I can't imagine it's Embracer. They're selling companies, so very strange. But it's good to know that someone bought them. They have the opportunity to continue, so it's good. The big mystery here is developer Arcane, who is kind of legendary at this point. They're Dishonored and Deathloop and Prey and all kinds of classics. They're currently working on Marvel's Blade, but they are Yeah, supposedly. But they are entering into consultation with its work council per French labor law.
Yeah.
So basically, they were told that by Xbox that, you guys need to figure out what to do, whether that's going independent again or finding new ownership, but we don't want you anymore, basically. But because of French labor law, it's taking a lot longer than the other studios, so we'll hear eventually from them. I have to assume that Blade's canceled. Like that's, I cannot imagine that it's not. So yeah. They're in trouble, which is a shame for such a legendary studio. But we'll see if anyone scoops them up. And then elsewhere, there are layoffs across other parts of Xbox, including Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. Microsoft has insisted that none of its first-party, publicly announced games or projects are being canceled as part of these reductions, which means that Fable, Gears of War E-Day, Clockwork Revolution, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Minecraft Dungeons 2, and Elder Scrolls 6 are all safe. However, Bethesda also owns id Software, which makes Doom and Quake games, Machine Games, which makes Wolfenstein, and most recently Indiana Jones, Activision Blizzard, which makes Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, and Candy Crush, which we'll get into in a little bit. Let's see what else we got here. There's a significant email. It's not an email. It's a memo from Asha Sharma that was sent to Xbox. I was going to read it in full, but it's pretty long, so I'll kind of just piecemeal out some of the more interesting tidbits from that email. Fortunately, it is not just a lot of corporate bullshit like we normally read from these types of situations. She does give away a lot of information in here, which is nice. There is still a lot of questions, though, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So, let's see. First thing she admits is that their operating margins are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, you have a platform that very few people bought, so that's not super surprising. She said, to grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. And while those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened, and we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. Therefore, we must reset. So firstly, she said, we're going to reset our content portfolio, which this is where it gets a little scary, because the vibe that she hasn't confirmed this is not in the writing anywhere, but the vibe that I'm getting is that there's going to be a handful of studios that are going to be like redirected to kind of a Call of Duty mine, kind of not specifically Call of Duty, but like they're going to
the port studio.
Yeah, they're either going to be a port studio, or they're going to be a support studio, or they're just not going to be making their own content anymore, basically. Right. So there's that. She also states Mojang and King will now directly report to her. Whereas I guess one of the things she said, I can't remember. I don't have the specifics. Here it is. Yeah. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is no wonder they're having to do layoffs. This statement here is kind of where I was like, oh, that's why, what's his name? shit, what was the previous Xbox boss? Phil Spencer. This is why Phil Spencer didn't get a send-off. Because this was right under his nose, and he did nothing. 14 layers of management? Are you kidding me? No wonder shit didn't get done. That's ridiculous. There should be like 2 layers, maybe 3 at each studio, and then that studio reports directly to like a head of Xbox Game Studios who reports to the boss. So like 5 layers. 14? No wonder shit didn't get done at the studio. No wonder Redfall happened. Like, that's baffling. Like this. So, and when I read this as well, I was like, Ubisoft. Oh my goodness! How many employees do they have? They had like something like 25,000 people in their worldwide studios. I wonder how many layers of management they have. The redundancy and the mismanagement there is asinine. That's crazy. She continues, our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation, even as our player base and playtime have declined. So you've increased your headcount by 40% when you're shitting the bed? What is how did that happen? That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. Yeah. Which, on one hand, obviously, layoffs suck. And it really sucks that many people were let go. But at the same time... Oh, hold on.
There we go.
At the same time, if you're Asher Sharma and you're tasked with saving Xbox, and you come in and you see 14 layers of management and studios that are bloated and nothing's making money besides A, B, and C, I get it. Either the company goes down or that's it. You got to make the hard choices.
The problem is with management.
Yeah.
You need somebody to be steering the ship, and because nobody was steering the ship, you're going to throw the sailors off. Like, that's fucked.
Well, if they hired too many people, what are you supposed to do? If you have like 14 I can't get over that. 14 layers of management. It's disgusting. Like, what do you do with the extra people that are useless? Not because they're bad people or bad employees, but because you don't need them. They're not necessary. The previous ownership just let this happen, whether it be due to just dumb management at these individual studios or whatever the case was. People below Phil Spencer made these decisions. Phil Spencer was not paying attention, and this happened. He gets fired because he wasn't paying attention. Asher Sharma comes in and goes, oh, fuck. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm not saying that Microsoft can't afford it. I'm not saying that it's, the best outcome. But if you're gun to your head, this is your job now. Fix it, or you're fired, and we're shutting down Xbox. You have to make shitty decisions. Like, you have to. Like, what else are you gonna do? What do you like? To me, this would be, and we'll get to some other really bad parts. But as a whole, on this situation, she could have been like, fuck this. You're shut down. You're shut down. You're shut down. You're shut down. Nope. I can't imagine that she got rid of people that, well, she did. I guess, well, did she or did the studios get rid of that? That's my big question as well. Is like, she couldn't have made the specific decision to fire or lay off all of these people individually. Somebody below her made those decisions. She's not going to. She doesn't have time to sit down and look at everyone's portfolio and say, are you needed? these studios were responsible to do that. And
well, realistically, we're looking at Microsoft here. I wouldn't be surprised if they fed like
an AI.
fed all of it into an AI and said, "Hey, Copilot, who should we let go here?"
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
I'm not even just saying that cynically. I think there's a distinct possibility that's what
I believe
they
it. Yeah, I believe it.
And as to your point to like, oh, somebody's holding a gun to her head and says, you got to cut people. Well, no, because you're assuming that the gun has to be held to her head. Like the person in charge of her would just be a decent human being and say, this company made mistakes. We will fix it, and we will not leave anyone out in the cold because we're Microsoft and we're worth like infinite money. We can afford to.
Yeah, I'm not defending Microsoft, the company. I'm defending Asher Sharma, who's in a shitty ass position, who got put in a position where she was fed. I mean, I think we reported on it 3 or 4 weeks ago, where she said when she was given this job, she went straight to, was it Matt Booty? I can't remember his name. Went straight to, I think it was Matt Booty. Went straight to him and was like, "Is this fixable? Is Xbox fixable, or is this like a sinking ship that is going to sink no matter what we do?" Clearly it was in a bad state, right? And it's like she at that moment had to make a decision of, do I do my best to figure this shit out, or do I hightail it the fuck out of here and let somebody else make the decision? And maybe that somebody else makes way worse decisions and just says, close them all. It's tough to see what the other side would be. But you got to, I mean, if you're not shocked that these studios weren't closed and they actually found them new homes or independency, I'd be surprised. Like, I was shocked when I heard that news. I was like, they're not shutting down any of these studios? Oh, wow. That's cool.
Well, it shouldn't be shocking because that should be the basic decent thing to do.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. But one of the better outcomes I've seen from a insane scenario like this, at least as far as those four guys or those four studios are taken into account. Obviously, there's other stuff that we're going to get into. Let's see, where should she continue here? Yeah, we got to that. So we'll reduce management. Okay, well, I didn't even read this far. We will reduce management layers to no more than 5, and where possible 3. That makes way more fucking sense to me. Makes way more fucking sense to me. 14. I can't get over that number. 14. Oh my god. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that is built around makers, individual contributors focused on building, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals, DRIs, who own key decisions and outcomes. So basically she's saying those are the 3 layers. You've got your individual contributors focused on building, then you got your player coaches who are leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams. So team leaders, producers, that kind of stuff. And then directly responsible individuals who own key decisions and outcomes. So that's probably like your Todd Howard type of guys, right? And that's it. That's management. That's it. That's the way it should be. And we will streamline how we work across our tools with a cleaner code base, shared services, and 50% reduced vendor spending. I'm assuming by shared services, she means the studios will work closely together to help each other out, like Sony does. Mm-hmm. Third, we're resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became more fragmented. Teams, studios, and functions often operate independently, and it became harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and get things done. For the first time, we're establishing a COO, with end-to-end P&L responsibility across content, hardware, platform, and services. Helen Chang has been promoted to this role and will report directly to me. With nearly 2 decades at Xbox, Helen has helped build some of our most important businesses, from Xbox Live to leading Mojang and the Minecraft franchise. She will bring our businesses together under one operating model, making sure we make clear investment decisions, learn from our successes and failures, and hold ourselves accountable for results. Dave McCarthy is retiring after 17 years with Xbox. I'm assuming... I'm not sure what role he played, actually. What role did Dave McCarthy have at Xbox? Corporate VP. Well, I can understand why he would be let go. He's retiring after 17 years with Xbox. Blah, 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 blah. These changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. The next decade of gaming will be larger, more global, and more creative than we've seen before. Well, we'll see about that. And she goes on to talk about all that crap. So, that's the top level thoughts. Let's get into the more specifics. So, let's start with id Software. So,
yeah,
John Romero actually commented on the layoffs.
So did John Carmack.
Yeah, I've got both of those somewhere. There it is. Let me bring them up here.
I was not impressed with what Carmack had to say.
He had some interesting things to say. I'm going to start with Romero.
Just to put this into context, apparently half of id Software is gone, and apparently most of their programming team, which is insane, because these are the people who make Doom engine, which is like ridiculously well optimized.
What games use Doom besides Doom? Or what games use that engine besides Doom, I should say?
Right now, only those, but like, look at how well they run.
Yeah, it's a little weird that they didn't decide to use that as an in-house engine across more of their studios instead of closing it. But again, devil's advocate. Oh shit, I got to get that out again. When Unreal Engine 5 is as accessible and as widely used as it is, I don't necessarily agree with the decision, obviously, but I can understand why somebody like Asha Sharma is like trying to, as she says, flatten the landscape and try to minimize the barriers and all that kind of stuff. Why she would be like, all right, everyone just use Unreal, it's fine. I can understand that. I don't agree with it because, as we saw in, I think it was the PS3 generation, 360 generation, so many games used Unreal Engine 3 that a lot of games kind of felt similar. It was like, oh yeah, this is an Unreal Engine game.
Yeah, and Unreal Engine 3 was kind of a weird time for that tech and the hardware it was running on, where it was like, yeah, the hardware, like the console hardware at the time, wasn't super well suited to some of that stuff. Like it would depend on what you did with it, but there are a number of games that used Unreal Engine 3 that just were not, either the tech wasn't suited to the game, or the game wasn't suited to the tech, or it just wasn't optimized properly. Like the one that always comes to mind is the Rise of the Triad remake, which is an Unreal Engine 3 game, and runs like total garbage, despite not being an exactly cutting edge looking game with massive environments. Like if you, I think that part of that maybe has to do with Unreal still being kind of FPS focused. It's a much more general purpose engine now. But it just seems like a lot of those UE3 games didn't really make the most of either the hardware that they were running on, because it wasn't really optimized for them, or the games didn't make the most of what the software could do because they were trying to shoehorn something that wasn't a shooter into an engine that's still largely built for shooters.
Right. Yeah. So
at least that's the sense that I got from playing those games.
Yeah. So I understand. I understand why she would make a decision like this, but I also think that had Phil Spencer had the whatever, he would have realized, oh shit, we have id. Why are we not using them as like a internal engine developer studio? Kind of similar to how DICE, EA made Frostbite, and they kind of moved that all over the place. Now, obviously, in that case, Frostbite didn't do perfectly across all their games. But when you have an internal engine like that, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? So I think it's more Phil Spencer's bad on that. I obviously, it's not his fault that they're closing, but he should have been taking advantage of that studio from the get-go. It's bizarre that that engine was only used for Doom. Like, okay, very strange. Some other information from id. They didn't have any currently announced projects, but IGN was able to determine that they were prototyping a number of potential projects with the belief that it's still capable of building its own games. According to GamesBeat, id was formulating new ideas such as a John Wick-style original IP, a new Perfect Dark game, and a multiplayer co-op Doom game before the layoffs hit, which are almost certainly canceled because the studio is about a third of the size that it was, not counting the engine layoff, the engine team layoff. John Carmack. Where's his statement? No, this is id.
I have it up if you want me to read it.
No, I've got it here as well. I've just got so many articles that I'm just kind of going through each of them. I'm just looking at.
I literally have it up on my phone right now.
Oh no, so do I. I'm just looking at id's statement first. I'm just making sure I haven't missed anything in here. Yeah. So it looks like.
Jesus, train! Did you really have to?
Is that what that was? I could hear it from here too. That train's so loud, dude. They did confirm. Well, technically they didn't confirm it, but id came out and said, "Thanks for all your support this week. While our studio was impacted, those changes were spread across multiple teams. We still have the crew we need to build the games and tech we're known for. The team today is about the same size we were when making Doom in 2016. We have always had a flat studio where everyone is a maker, and we will remain true to that philosophy moving forward. We're focusing on supporting each other and the team members impacted. We're going to continue building the great games and tech that have defined us for the past 35 years, and we're looking forward to seeing you at QuakeCon in August." So it's apparently not true that the entire engine team was axed. I guess that was incorrect information. It was just specific teams were lowered evenly. So it's not as bad at id as I guess we originally thought. That's directly from id. They also pushed back on the suggestion that there's essentially no one left at the company working on id Tech, the game engine it and fellow Bethesda owner studio Machine Games uses to build their games. Xbox confirmed to IGN there are dozens of people working on id Tech across multiple locations, and that previous reports that there was only one person left in Texas are also completely inaccurate. So, not as bad as original reports said, which is nice. So we will still see id Tech be used. So that's good. John Carmack's statement is as follows. Been trying to find something meaningful to say about the id Software layoffs. My, quote, Microsoft will probably be a good steward of the brand, end quote, statement isn't aging well, and this is certainly going to dampen the mood of the founder reunion at QuakeCon next month. I'm saddened, but I can't muster anger or outrage over it. I don't have access to the books, but I suspect that id Software was a marginal business from Microsoft's perspective. I believe the reports that Minecraft revenues have been carrying several other studios. Before I continue, yeah, I mean, Minecraft makes stupid money. And they also have Game Pass, which we'll get into later, but Game Pass costs we'll say roughly $20 a month on average. Times 30 million users a month. That's a pretty big chunk of change just from that. Now, obviously, there's subsidizing that is not going on there for all the games, but it's still like a constant source of revenue that they've got.
Yeah, but is it enough to? Is it enough to keep the company afloat? Which is
clearly a no. Clearly a no. Yeah. He continued, to continue being produced long-term, games need to succeed, not just be beloved. Games are competing with every other option for spending your leisure time and money, and the competition is brutal. You can't rule out the possibility that executives are idiots, but that shouldn't be your default belief. I don't think.
Yes, it should be.
In this scenario, yeah, that company was obviously. 14 layers. Yeah. I don't think there is any obvious path that would have doubled the revenue from id Games. Could they have gotten more with a different pricing strategy? Could they have created more things for fans to buy? Could they have cost-effectively marketed in a way that reached more players that would have loved and bought the games? Could they have changed the game designs and broadened the appeal to more players without alienating existing ones? Could they have produced the games at a lower cost, faster, or cheaper? I really don't know. The game isn't over yet, and I hope the studio rallies through. Well, obviously they're fine. They're still there. But
so I have something to say about that. So he says that in order for games to be produced long term, they have to succeed. Well, I went and looked up what the approximate sales for id's recent games have been,
which is Doom, Doom Eternal, and Doom:
The Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages.
And the numbers are a little all over the place with how high they go, but the consensus seems to be that Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal sold at least 5 million units each.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd call that a success. Now, Doom: The Dark Ages has apparently not sold tremendously well. But also, wasn't that a day one Game Pass title?
Oh, yeah.
So how many sales did you miss out on because people are subscribed to it rather than just buying it outright?
Oh, yeah. Game Pass is clearly a source of money being taken away. Clearly.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what the hell Carmack is talking about with these games need to be successful. They are successful.
Yeah, they just have
sold millions of copies.
Yeah, they just have a leak, which is Game Pass.
Yeah.
Doom 2016 cost $90 million to make. Doom Eternal was $150 million. Doom: The Dark Ages was also $150 million. So did they make their money back?
How much more advanced The Dark Ages is, the fact that it only costs the same amount as Eternal, I would call that pretty good cost efficiency.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I'm not sure what. Listen, John Carmack, you're a brilliant programmer, but what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah,
these.
Where does he work now? He doesn't work at id. So what's he doing?
Oh, he was at Facebook for a while under Oculus.
Yay.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
Not paying attention to Game Pass, apparently.
Solving string theory or something. Listen, the dude is super smart when it comes to science and technology, but this is I just don't understand how you can say that. How can you look at something that's objectively been very successful and popular and say, oh, it wasn't successful enough? Bean Technologies. What is that?
What? Gaming Technologies? Something he said?
It's apparently where he is right now. Just
looking. I see. I got you.
Oh, of course.
Embracer.
Oh, AI.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The website is literally it says John Carmack's AGI effort. So this is this is, I guess, John Carmack trying his hands at doing AI, which I will say, if there's anyone out there who could do it, it'd probably be him. But dude, come on, read the room. How can you say with a straight face that those games that sold at least 5 million units each weren't successful? And with the Dark Ages, with it being a day one Game Pass game, it doesn't take a fucking scientist, or it shouldn't take a scientist, Mr. Guy who at one point owned a rocketry company and was technically a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
To see that that's cutting into the sales of that. Because why the fuck would somebody pay $80 for a game when they can get it day one on the thing that they subscribe to for $20 a month?
Yeah, so Asha Sharma also revealed why Game Pass failed, and it's because it didn't meet subscriber requirements. So,
well, I'll tell you why it failed. It failed because it succeeded, but it didn't succeed in the way that they wanted it to.
It didn't succeed enough.
Being
yeah,
an incredible deal for customers,
but not for the business.
But not for the business, exactly. They gave customers a deal that was too good for it to be profitable to them.
Well, so they needed it to hit 70 million subscribers in order to be profitable. They only hit 30.
Yeah.
So they were well short of where they needed to be. And it sucks because as somebody who used Game Pass a shitload, it sucks because the only reason that it failed was because nobody bought an Xbox, and nobody bought an Xbox because they weren't producing games. They weren't producing exclusives. Yeah. It was a fucking domino effect where it was like, yeah, here's the best deal in gaming, and you get all our games on day one, but it took them like 10 years to start making games. Now they reached a point where they finally got a stride going, but it was too late. They needed to have games being coming out like this 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, let's say 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But they missed the boat by like half a decade. Had they been able to get that established, I think they would have been a lot closer than 30 million to 70 million. But we'll get more into the specifics of why they failed as we continue through these tidbits of information that came out. So the next one I want to look at is Bethesda Game Studios. So according to a report from none other than Jason Schreier, the man, the myth, the legend, he's crazy. His connections are just, I don't know, man. He knows the right people somehow.
Hey, when you work in the business that long, you're gonna make
friends,
those connections.
Yeah. So he, how do I want to say this?
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm trying to phrase this in the best way I can. So Bethesda Game Studios itself was not immune to the layoffs. They also received layoffs. Mm-hmm. He was able to confirm that they are indeed working on Elder Scrolls 6. They've moved on from Starfield. Elder Scrolls 6 is in full gear. However, he confirmed that the game is at least 2 more years away from release, and that was before the layoffs. And now they have a lot less people. Now this is where I start to theorize and go like, there's gonna be someone who's assigned as a support studio for this. It's gotta be. Who that is, I don't know. But we'll take a look at that at the end because I have a list that we're gonna go through. But I thought that was interesting. The fact that game, it is what it is. What else do we have here? The Elder Scrolls Online has reportedly lost as much as half of its development team as its roadmap is now being reevaluated.
Ooh.
So the total number of those impacted is unknown. Xbox hit this studio hard last year and canceled their new sci-fi MMO. So they've already been hit, and now they've been hit again. Kotaku put out a report that sources from ZeniMax have expressed uncertainty on how the Elder Scrolls Online is going to be able to continue after such a massive blow. The team seems to be reckoning with this publicly, as community manager Jessica Folsom took to the ESO forums to tell players that the game's roadmap is shifting, and they will need time to reevaluate it before sharing a new plan. Quote, looking beyond Season 1, the roadmaps we previously shared will be shifting. We want to take the time to evaluate the work in front of us and then lock down an updated schedule. While we'd love to share concrete details today, stepping back to get our plans straight will let us come back to you with a clear timeline. With such a massive reduction to ESO's development team, many players are fearing the worst for the game's future. It seems like the game will remain playable, but how much support will it get? That's the big question. The Elder Scrolls Online recently moved away from chapters and big expansions to embrace seasonal content, which already suggests the game may be scaling down. So ESO might be going into maintenance mode in a lot less time than we thought. I thought that game has been doing very well for a long time.
Yeah.
So that sucks. I'm not a fan of it, but I know it's got a huge following. So that really sucks. And then more details on Elder Scrolls 6. The layoffs will have a substantial and cascading effect on the development of Elder Scrolls 6. Multiple staff at the studio have told IGN. Speaking on condition of anonymity, that's a hard word to say, to protect their careers, current and former staff have told IGN that job losses across Bethesda game studios have removed more than 50 employees, including key high-performing people in the trenches building the company's long-awaited Skyrim successor. This, in turn, they say, has completely shattered morale, raising the risk of future development crunch and increased likelihood that the game's already far-off completion date will be delayed even further. Now, this is where it gets sad. Well, more sad. Such is the strength of feeling of... let me repeat that. Such is the strength of feeling among the tight-knit Bethesda team that on social media, photos have been shared of multiple makeshift celebrations of service memorials displayed within the company's offices in Dallas, Texas, and Rockville, Maryland. These feature framed photographs of laid-off workers arranged in the studio's common areas, alongside bouquets of flowers. At least one of these displayed has now been dismantled by orders of the company's HR department, which I don't understand why that would be, but HR is usually annoying.
If they do their job correctly, it's to make sure that employees are not mistreated, and in this case, they seem to be running interference for the management who don't want to have their feelings hurt over being reminded about how many people they fired.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting point. I mean, and to be fair to those members of management within Bethesda Game Studios, they were probably not given a choice. They probably were said, this is your list. Here you go. It's your job to tell them. I assume that's probably how it went. Quote, their loss will have a substantial and cascading effect on the game and morale at the studio. It's been a mix of every discipline, programmers, artists, designers. One person who's been at the company since Morrowind was cut.
Jesus.
That's a long tenure. Yeah, so that's a big issue. You know, I will say though, and this is completely off topic, but a lot of people seem to think that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be like the second coming of Jesus. I'm much more dubious about that game. And this was before the layoffs. Now I'm even more dubious about that game. The game has so much to live up to, and if Starfield is any indicator of Elder Scrolls 6's quality, I don't know, man. I don't think that game's going to come anywhere near to meeting people's expectations, but we'll see. Let's see who's next. Obsidian. Staff at Obsidian are reportedly concerned about the studio's future projects after it was hit hard by Microsoft's Xbox layoffs. According to Kotaku, around 60 to 70 people were cut from Obsidian, which is the first-person role-playing game specialist behind Avowed, The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment, and of course Fallout New Vegas. Some of the staff who are leaving Obsidian are veterans of the studio. Kotaku quotes one person who said they were unsure how Obsidian's huge list of projects could continue following the cuts to the business. Obsidian has yet to announce a new game following the commercial failure of both Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2, but it is continuing to work on early access game Grounded 2 and The Outer Worlds 2 DLC. I want to point out that there's, and this is just a funny kind of side piece of information. When you look at Obsidian, right, you see the Fallout guys, right? Then they made...
Yeah, because this, like, Obsidian, for people who don't know, Obsidian was a studio that was founded in the wake of the closure of Black Isle. Black Isle is the original developer of the Fallout series.
Yeah. So they made...
a bunch of people...
Yeah, they made New Vegas, and I think they assisted on Fallout 3.
Well, they weren't working with Bethesda as a Fallout 3, but they did make New Vegas. But, like, the point is, Obsidian is, or at least at some point, was made up of people who designed Fallout originally.
Right.
Like people who worked on either Fallout 1 or 2 or Fallout Tactics.
Yeah. So I do want to point out, and again, this is just a funny little side fact, but they worked on Fallout. They worked on Pillars of Eternity 2, Outer Worlds, Avowed, and Outer Worlds 2. And their most successful game is the one that nobody wanted them to make, Grounded. And now Grounded 2 is also doing really, really well. Just find that interesting that the game that nobody cared about is doing the best for them. The studio that's legendary for RPGs made a survival crafting game, and that's their best-selling product. I just find that interesting. Yeah, I just find that interesting. Because I remember when they announced Grounded, everyone was like, what the fuck are they doing? And then it came out, and everyone was like, oh. That's what they're doing. It's a good game.
Talented people.
Yeah. Now, they did... I can't remember who confirmed it, but somebody confirmed it. I can't remember who it was now. I don't have it here, but Obsidian is officially been diverted to work on the next Fallout game. So,
yeah, but with a significant reduction in their staff, so
yeah.
How's that going to work out?
Guess we'll find out in 10 years, because that's how long it takes to make games these days.
This is the insane thing, because people have been saying, hey, give Obsidian Fallout again, because New Vegas was so great. And, like, I've wanted Obsidian to do another Fallout game since New Vegas, and somehow Microsoft has found a way to fuck that up.
Well, this is one of those situations like PlayStation had recently, where it was like, I can't. Which studio was it? Shit. I've got too many companies on my brain right now. Let's see. Where's my first party tracker? There it is. No, it wasn't them. Shit, I don't remember who it is now. They had maybe it was Bungie. They have a studio. Yeah, it was it Bungie? I can't remember. We talked about it in the last like 6 months. But they had a studio that was like, Bluepoint. Bluepoint was the example where Bluepoint was like, yeah, we want to make, what was it? Something, there was something weird that they wanted to make. There was like a Shadow of the Colossus remake again, and then there was 2 other projects that they pitched, and and you and I both were like, the fuck are you doing? Like, remake Bloodborne. What are you doing? That's what you should be doing. You remade Demon's Souls, and it was amazing. Remake Bloodborne. That's what people want. And this is the same situation. I'm wondering if, PlayStation didn't go to Bluepoint and were like, no, you guys are working on the Bloodborne remake. That's what you're doing. No, you're not working on this shit. You're working on... Go work on Bloodborne. In this situation, I wonder if Obsidian was like, yeah, we want to make our own shit. We want to expand on the Pillars of Eternity universe, which is what Avowed was. And then Outer Worlds was a new project as well. I wonder if that's the same situation where Phil Spencer should have came in and be like, no, you guys are working on Fallout. Go. Like, I wonder if that's the same situation that both those studios had, where they wanted to do their own thing and they just shouldn't have. Because as the article just pointed out, Obsidian's last 2 games were complete commercial failures. Outer Worlds 2 and About. Like why was any of these games greenlit? Like none of them did gangbuster money. I don't understand. It's weird. Like Grounded obviously did really well. But everything from your Pillars of Eternity universe ain't making money. So why do and oh yeah, and that was the other thing. I didn't read that part. Before they were redirected to Fallout, they were working on Avowed 2. What?
Maybe not the smartest move.
Like, what? Who greenlit that? like you had 2 commercial failures in a row, and now you're going to make a sequel to one of those? Who made that decision? An idiot, clearly. You want to put your studio at risk. That's a good way of doing it. Double down on a commercial failure. Great idea, guys. Like, I'm not saying Avowed was a bad game. I played it and I thought it was pretty cool, but it didn't sell well. People didn't gravitate towards it because probably most people are like, why aren't these guys working on fucking Fallout? Like, that's what they should have been making. There should be a Fallout 5 out, like last year from Obsidian. Like, it should have been out. And now they're just starting it now, 5 years after they were purchased by Xbox. Like, day one, Xbox should have been like, yeah, you guys are making Fallout now, just so you know. That's what you're doing. Go do it. Nope. Took them 5 years to make that decision. So, the Phil Spencer failures are starting to, like, come into view, where it's like Redfall, Game Pass. What the fuck? No Fallout? No Elder Scrolls? What are you doing? What's happening? And then, Halo Infinite, that fucked up. It's like, guys, what happened over the course of Phil Spencer's tenure? You can't tell me that it was all the studio's faults.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know. We don't know what. Well, we do know what Obsidian's doing now. So they're working on Fallout. Whether we see that ever again, I mean, who knows if Xbox is going to survive 10 years?
Yeah, I'm not
like
confident.
No, like these games take. I mean, a minimum of 5 years. We won't see Fallout 4.
I have a thought that I want to share, and I talked about this on BlueSky a little bit, but I'm kind of wondering, is Microsoft trying to keep the Xbox division alive long enough to reach the 25th anniversary of the original Xbox, and then after that they're just going to pull the plug? Because it's so close. It's this November. Like, I there's a part of me that wonders, like, are they just trying to do that so that they can hit that milestone officially and then just
have it on the books?
Shut it all down?
25 years in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because these decisions don't look like the decisions of a company that wants to continue to exist.
It depends on what Asha Sharma has been told, I guess. If she was told, you have 5 years to fix this, to turn this around and make it profitable, then I can understand these decisions. Because it's like, you have 5 years. That's it. If you are not profitable by 5 years from now, it's over.
Has Xbox ever been profitable?
Let me find out. I assume during the 360 era, they probably were.
Hopefully.
So they were profitable up until... It looks like they were profitable up until the Activision acquisition.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, you bet the horse.
Yeah, you basically blew all the profits they've ever made on that acquisition.
Yeah. Now, they probably weren't in a super healthy position at the end of the Xbox One generation because that console sold like shit. But
It's doing better than the Series is.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. Let's find out what the sales of those two consoles are. I have no idea. What were the hardware sales of Xbox One? 58 million. Oh, yeah, there's no way there's more than 58 million Xbox Series sold.
Not a chance. What were the sales of the 360? Just so we have
35 million for Xbox Series. So yeah, not knows. What for Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Approximately 86 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so it did much better. PlayStation 3 was basically the same. Yeah, I remember by the end of the generation, they had basically evened themselves out.
It was weird because the 360 was leading it for so long, and then things leveled out, and PlayStation caught up. I think they might have even outsold 360 right at the end, but...
Yeah, they said about 88 million, so just slightly more than the Xbox 360 in the end.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 also had the advantage of being a big seller in third world countries, I guess is the best way of putting it, because the PlayStation 3 continued to sell in third world countries for the entire PS4 generation. Not huge numbers, obviously, but it continued to trickle, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously the big turning point for Xbox was Xbox One. The day they revealed that thing and were like, TV, Connect, TV.
I didn't even mind the TV stuff so much, but their thing where you needed to check in with games.
Yeah, they had that, and they had Connect was required.
Yeah,
which made it cost $100 more than the PlayStation 4 did. Yeah, they fucked that up royally. That was it. You can trace back everything to that moment. They haven't caught up since. They fucked that up so bad. Good job, Don Matrick. Good job. So continuing on. The layoffs at Xbox have not only affected Xbox studios. I don't know if you heard about this one, but they have also hurt a third-party studio.
Yeah, IO Interactive.
Hitman and 007 First Light developer IO Interactive will close one of its studios and lay off an unknown number of staff after Xbox pulled funding for an upcoming project, Project Dragon, IO's under wraps online fantasy RPG, which has been in development for years, partly funded by Xbox.
Ooh, we're going back to True Fantasy Live Online. Microsoft fucking over a development partner on an online game.
Yeah. It may have been for the best, though. I can't picture IO Interactive in an online fantasy RPG. Like, what does that even mean? Is that an MMO?
I don't know, but they're talented people, so...
Yeah.
In the same way that people couldn't picture Obsidian doing Grounded.
True statement. I stand corrected. So, yeah, IO's also hurting from that. And then finally, this doesn't have anything to do with Xbox. Actually, we'll skip this for now. This doesn't have to do with the layoffs. So what I'll do is I'll bring up our first party tracker that I have, and I've updated it. So we have essentially lost Xbox has lost 5 of its studios. So now we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we went from 17 studios to 12. And I can update the tracker now. So Coalition, we know, is finishing up Gears of War E-Day. Obsidian, we now know, is working on Fallout 5. Essentially, I assume it's Fallout 5. And obviously, they're continuing work on Grounded 2. In Exile is still working on Clockwork Revolution. Playground Games is working on Fable. Bethesda, we now know, is working on Elder Scrolls 6. Halo Studios is working on Halo Remake, The Campaign Evolved. We don't know what World's Edge is making. Machine Games was affected by the layoffs, but we assume they're still working on Wolfenstein 3. And then Blizzard, Rare, Mojang, and ID, or id, we have no idea what they're doing. Especially id, because of their significant layoffs. Maybe it's going to be one of those studios that ends up being a sports studio, which would be incredibly sad. Yeah. But I can totally see them supporting machine games, though. Like, I can see them being like, guys, just get in with machine, get Wolfenstein 3 out the door. Let's go. Mojang, I don't think it really matters. Honestly, they're Minecraft. Rare, I'm honestly surprised Rare survived the layoffs. Sea of Thieves is has done well for them, but like that's one game that they've had in 10 years. I don't remember when did Sea of Thieves come out? Oh no, 2020. Okay, I'm wrong. So 5 years. So not as bad as I thought. So that's probably why they're still kicking. Man, they're in dire straits, man. I really do, like, at the end of the day, I really do think that Asher Sharma was given a timeline. I think she was given a timeline.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
And if it's not done, they're out, which is why they were contemplating selling the business. And I thought about that more after our show last week, and I was like, nobody's going to buy Xbox. They're going to have to piecemeal it out. That's the only way they're going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, Xbox is going to want to recoup some of their losses, and they spent $69 billion on Activision Blizzard alone. So they're looking at, what, at $100 billion for Xbox, which is a not healthy company. Like, who's going to spend $100 billion on a company that's failing? It doesn't make any sense. So they would have to piecemeal out all their studios. That's crazy.
Yeah, just like we've been speculating that Ubisoft would end up doing.
Yeah, which we're still kind of waiting to see what they're doing. They're still very quiet. That might be the next domino that falls, is Ubisoft finally find out what they're up to, because they did a lot of layoffs, but they really haven't told us what the hell they're doing. So it's a sad day at Xbox. Probably a happy day for PlayStation, because they're just annihilating their competition at this point. Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's a lot of people that are now looking for a new studio. It's a lot of people. And the other thing I thought about was this, and I can't believe I just recalled this. We still have another. So we've got 1,600 people laid off. We still have another 1,400 people that are going to be laid off between now and March.
Mm-hmm.
What is there left to get rid of? Like, you've gutted all of these studios. The only studios that don't seem to have been affected are the Coalition, Exile, and Playground. And Halo Studios, apparently, yeah. Didn't really see any hits from them.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have anything about God of War on the news docket today?
No.
Well, is
there breaking news?
Apparently, I have breaking news. There was apparently a tweet that was sent out by Santa Monica Studio. Looks like it happened while we were recording the show.
Okay.
That says, we can confirm God of War Laufey will be available on Death.
Oh. Okay, so that means it's coming out next year.
Yeah, that means it's got to be before the cutoff date.
Interesting. That's weird that they didn't give a 2027 date on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, to me, would sit, like, if they're confident that it's going to get a physical release, unless they're just not thinking. It could just be that they're not thinking about it. Interesting. Okay, well, interesting. All right. Sure. All right, let's get into Xbox Game Pass. They have revealed the next lineup of Xbox Game Pass games, which, by the way, this is another topic of discussion along all these same lines, is they have publicly admitted now that Game Pass is losing them money. Mm-hmm. But they've still announced all their first-party games coming to Game Pass day one.
Of course.
At what point are they going to say it's over? You know what I'm saying? Because they're stuck, right? They are stuck with this, because if they keep it, they're still fucking themselves over. If they get rid of it, they dump 30 million monthly subscriber cash out the door, gone. And then they're gonna expect people to buy an Xbox, which, by the way, this is the other thing, is that they've done all these layoffs, right? They've reset Xbox. But the one thing that they've still failed to accomplish with this is, why should I buy an Xbox?
Right.
There's still not a reason to. And I don't, like, I'm trying to picture what the long-term goal is right now, right? I'm trying to picture, like, okay.
I'm wondering if they have an idea of what the long-term goal is, besides just,
right,
we need to stop bleeding money.
Yeah, I think they're very reactionary right now, because, like, what is the, like, if you were to look 5 years into Xbox's future right now, besides being sold off piecemeal and it being over, like, how do you go back up? How do you pull up? And I don't know the answer to that question. Obviously, if I did, I'd be a rich man. But I wonder if the only thing that they can do at this point, which would piss a lot of people off, but it might be the only thing that they can do to pull up, is cancel Game Pass, and all of their first-party studios are now exclusive to Xbox. You have to buy an Xbox if you want to play everything. If you want to play Halo, you have to come to Xbox. If you want to play Elder Scrolls 6, you have to come to Xbox. If you want to play Fallout, you have to come to Xbox. Like, to me, obviously it's a fucking huge gamble, because one of two things happens. Either people go, oh, you now compete with PlayStation in terms of exclusives, I consider you an option now.
Right.
On the opposite side of that, people might go, fuck you, I'll wait for you to die, and then I'll get all those games when they come to all the other platforms. But I like, in my mind, I can't think of another solution. They're not going to pull up from this if they just continue to work on, like, okay, Elder Scrolls 6 is out, it's multi-platform. Okay, Fallout 5 is multi-platform. Okay, you know, so on and so forth. They're multi-platform. You haven't given us a reason to buy an Xbox. So, like, you know what I mean? What do you do? What do you do as a company? If you were given 5 years to make it profitable, what options would you have? And, you know, PlayStation's not going to be like, you can put Game Pass on PlayStation. That's not going to happen.
No.
That's not going to happen. If it did, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be like, fuck yeah. Oh yeah, we're good. Let's go. And so would Xbox, but that's why PlayStation wouldn't do it. It was like, no way. That would save you. I'm not doing that. I'm not throwing you a lifeline. What the fuck what do I look like? Charity case? No.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. So, and Game Pass on PC is doing well, but that's not where the majority of people play Xbox's series of games. They're not going to subscribe to Game Pass. PC players will wait for a sale on Steam, or they'll just support Steam. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. So you can't use PC as your method to pull up. The only option for you to pull up, besides exiting the hardware market, which you can't even do that, because if you exit the console market, but keep Game Pass, you're still fucking yourself over. So maybe cancel Game Pass and go third party only. Exit the hardware business. Leave that problem to PlayStation.
I guess, but like that's ideally the kind of thing you'd be trying to avoid. But if that's the only way to, to not tank the entire division, I don't know. I mean, it looked like for a while they were going to do that,
right? Yeah.
This is why I say I don't think they know what they want to do.
No, and you know what gives that away is them putting Gears of War EA and Clockwork Revolution as the only exclusives.
Yeah.
Because if they were serious about that, they'd be like, "No, we're pulling everything. Everything's exclusive." Because I don't know if you read the story. I didn't include it because I didn't feel it was all that important. But apparently, Epic Games was pretty pissed off because they had been working on the PlayStation 5 version of that game for a lengthy period of time, to the point where they had like test versions gone. They were deep into PlayStation development for that game, and then Xbox was like, "No, we're not doing that now." So they can only imagine them thinking, imagine all that work we could have been doing if we knew it was exclusive. So it's like they're making reactionary decisions, and also I would say that they're listening to the minority market, which is just the online market, because they launched that what do they call that? It was like Xbox feedback or something like that. I can't remember what the actual name is.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Player choice, something like that. So they're listening to people, but they're listening to the minority. They're listening to the hardcore, which is an important part of your business. But what you really should be going after is the mainstream audience, because that's where the majority of your sales are going to come from, especially if you're a developer of games like Elder Scrolls and Gears of War and Halo and stuff. Like, those are marquee titles, those are marquee franchises that even your mainstream not hardcore gamer are going to be like, "Oh fuck, I can't wait for the next Halo. Oh fuck, I can't wait for the next Gears of War," right? You need to capture those people, and you haven't done that, clearly, because no one's buying an Xbox.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know. I guess those are your only two options. Go full exclusive mode and say, "Join us or we're going to die," and let the players decide. Or cancel your hardware business, let PlayStation deal with the rising prices of bullshit, and go full third-party mode and see if you can, over time, recoup your losses, because you're not spending all this money on Game Pass, or losing money on Game Pass and losing money on hardware.
Yeah, I would say that if they were in a stronger position hardware-wise, they might be playing chicken with PlayStation to see who will blink first on the RAM prices and drop out of the business.
Yeah.
There's no way they could do that in this situation.
No. PlayStation knows they're screwed in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
They know. But they also know that they have such goodwill built up with the PlayStation community, even though they have fucked up royally.
I don't know if they have a ton of goodwill, but they have less bad will than Xbox does.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, they have much less bad will than Xbox. So, if I right now in this very moment, if you were to ask a PlayStation gamer, next year you have the choice between a PlayStation 6 for $1,200 or a Project Helix for $1,200, which one are you going to go with? They're going to go with PlayStation. You haven't,
assuming they've got $1,200.
Yeah, assuming they're going to buy one.
Here's $1,200. You could spend this on a PS6 or a Project Helix.
Yeah, they're going to buy a PlayStation. You haven't given them
a reason. The reality is, for a lot of people, when faced with that question, they're going to say, "Well, I can't afford either one."
Yeah, that would be my response as well. I'm not going to buy either one right now. But for those that would buy it day one, why would anyone buy an Xbox? You haven't given them a reason to.
Yeah.
So interesting. So Xbox Game Pass July Wave 1 lineup. Gears of War Reloaded is now available on Game Pass Premium. Tamashika, also now available on all versions of Game Pass. I don't know what that is. Ascend to Zero comes on July 13th to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. I don't know what that is either. PBA Pro Bowling 2026, July 14th, all versions of Game Pass. Quarantine Zone, The Last Check, July 15th. Mavericks by Matt Jones, July 16th. It's not a good list, folks. Fix Force, July 17th, all versions of Game Pass. Don't know. Fog Piercer, PC Game Pass. Planet Crafter, all versions of Game Pass, July 21st. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake, July 21st, all versions of Game Pass. Pretty weak lineup. Pretty weak.
I mean, that Tony Hawk game is pretty good, but it's also been out for a while.
Yeah, and it's also a remake of a game that was out a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a good games, though, and a good remake.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of games leaving Xbox Game Pass on July 15th, including Dungeons of Hinterberg, which I really want to get back to that at some point. EA Sports Football Club 24, Stellaris, Golf with Your Friends, Minami Lane, Power Wash Simulator, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Splitgate Arena Reloaded, which is Splitgate 2. They renamed it for some reason. Super Fantasy Kingdom, and Tectonica. All right. That's it for Xbox news. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the Xbox conundrum?
No, just that. That'll be my closing statement on it. It's so fucking exhausting, man.
Yeah. I wonder how they're going to deal with the rest of the layoffs over the course of the next 9 months. Are they going to just do it all at once at some point, or are they going to do it quarterly? Yeah. You know what? That I never even thought about that. That's another thing that kind of sucks, is that all these people that are left at Xbox that watched all their friends get laid off, they're all sitting there going, "Oh,
are we next?
Yeah. Why would you be motivated at all to work your ass off at this point, working for any of those studios? Because you could be next." I don't know why they did. Why did they do it this way? That's what I want.
I have no idea.
Why are they dividing it up over the course of a 9-month period? Just get it done and over with, guys. Ubisoft did the same thing. It's like, guys, just do it all at once. Just get it over with. All right.
I wonder if there's some kind of
labor law.
Yeah, something like that.
Could be. All right, let's get out of the Xbox news into Switch news. Yes, I said Switch, not Switch 2. Nintendo has confirmed its plans to continue selling Switch 1 after yesterday announcing that sales of Switch 1 would no longer be occurring in Europe. In Europe, fresh versions of the Switch 2 and its various controllers will be rolled out this fall onwards, now with user-replaceable batteries to comply with EU legislation. But Nintendo will not be updating its aging Switch 1 hardware, and instead will simply remove it from sale in mid-February next year.
Which makes complete sense. Like, why go to all the trouble of re-engineering something that you're looking to replace anyway?
Yeah. Now, this, I believe... Yeah, they said mid-February 2027. I wonder if that's kind of when they're just going to stop manufacturing it completely. Like, why bother continue manufacturing it? It can't be selling that much more at this point.
Well, it's probably cheaper than selling the Switch 2 because it has way less RAM in it, and they've gotten, at this point, they've gotten the manufacturing process of it pretty cheap, I imagine.
Could be.
So,
but are people buying Switch ones?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it feels like everyone in the world has bought one at this point. It's almost the number one seller in history. It's weird.
Yeah. But I suppose as long as remember how long they kept making PS2s for?
Yeah, it's because people wanted DVD players.
Yeah, but you could get a PS3 that plays DVDs and Blu-rays.
More expensive though.
Yeah, but by the time the PS2 was done, you could get a DVD player for cheaper than a PS2.
True.
Like I'm just saying, like as long as it continues to sell, even if it's out of date, why not sell it?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what people want.
That's true. In other Nintendo news, Mario Kart Tour, the mobile Mario Kart game, is shutting down.
Yep. You know what else is shutting down?
Hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
Yes, it is. I saw that as well. Yeah.
I didn't even know that game came out.
Yeah, it
And
didn't
now
do
it's
very well, I
shutting
don't
down.
think. It's the problem with live service games. Got to do.
Yeah, this is why I don't do mobile games. It's because it's like they'll be around for 2 or 3 years and then they're gone.
I don't do mobile games because most of them suck. I did play
there's-
Tour and it was fine, but I will never ever enjoy touchscreen controls. They just suck.
Yeah, well, what you need to do is you need to have a game that's good on a touchscreen, you know,
Or-
and not just something that like uses virtual buttons on the touchscreen.
Yeah, or buy a backbone. I've been told that really works well.
Yeah.
So a notice posted on social media this morning revealed that the iPhone and Android game will cease operating on September 29th. The game originally launched September 2019 and is one of Nintendo's few remaining mobile games still in operation. Nintendo shutting down its smartphone games is nothing new. Many of them have now been scrapped, but Mario Kart Tour lasted longer than most and fed into development of tracks for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Switch expansion pass, and was for a while at least extremely lucrative. The financial success of Mario Kart Tour was initially marred in controversy, however, as it relied on gacha-style game mechanics to unlock new karts and characters. After significant backlash, Nintendo replaced this system with a more standard item shop in 2022, as well as a subscription service. I can't imagine playing or paying a subscription fee to play Mario Kart. Mario Kart's a great game, but not for a monthly fee. Not for a monthly fee. Anyway. There will be no offline version of this game, so once it's gone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a shame. I think they might end up doing some sort of like port. You know, like here's
I don't know. Like, why would they?
I mean, you have all those assets in this game just sitting there. Just do a Mario.
I'm sure those assets could be potentially used for something, but then again, like,
could just do a quick downloadable game. Just, you know, Mario Kart Tour Switch 2 edition. Here you go.
I don't know. Maybe they'll incorporate if those were new and original tracks. Maybe they'll incorporate them into a future Mario Kart game. But I don't really see them because they've already got Mario Kart World. You know.
Yeah. With Mario Kart Tour shutting down, Nintendo's smartphone game catalog is shrinking. Fire Emblem Heroes and Shadows remain operational, as well as Super Mario Run and Pikmin Bloom. But I can't imagine those are going to last forever either. So it's just all depressing. Yeah. 2 more pieces of news. Nothing crazy. Nintendo Switch Online is getting updated with 3 new Game Boy titles. Wario Land Super Mario Land 3, which is what you're seeing here.
Good game.
Good game. I own this game. I have the actual cartridge for this game.
Ooh.
The Sword of Hope 2, which I've never heard of.
Never played.
Never even heard of that one.
Actually, I could check that out right now. Do you want a live review right now
of the Sword of Hope 2?
Yeah.
You have it?
No, but I have my Switch right here.
Oh.
I can just boot this up right now and give it a shot because I've never played it. I've never even heard of it either.
Does it say what it is? Let's see.
I just load into it right now. It's not going to be very long because my Switch is at 18%, but
they call IGN calls it a so-so JRPG from Kemco.
Okay, yeah, that'll probably be. Oh yeah, so yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I mean it's a Game Boy game. It can't be that great. And RPGs on Game Boy.
No. RPGs on Game Boy can absolutely work because remember they don't need to be fast paced.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Wait, are these out already or not? What was the date on them? Because I'm not seeing it here. There's Sword of Hope 1.
This was announced on the UK channel, so maybe it's available in Europe, but not in Canada yet. It could be like a week delay kind of a thing. Who knows?
Oh yeah, okay. So I totally didn't recognize the name, but I have actually played the first one.
Oh,
because it is on the first one is on the virtual console. You can probably hear it.
Yes, I can.
Right now. And I'd already played it a little bit. Yeah, it's an okay JRPG is what it is.
There you go.
It kinda makes me think, it kind of makes me think of like Shadowgate because it has like the sort of the verbiage like look, open, use, that
it's
kind of
that
stuff.
kind of RPG. Okay.
But it also does have like turn-based battles. But that makes sense because Kemco is also the company that made the NES versions of Shadowgate and
there you go.
And Deja Vu and The Uninvited. In fact, if you listen, it even kind of sounds like the transition.
I don't think it's coming through the mic.
Yeah.
No.
Can I turn it up?
I heard it.
Whatever.
I heard a beep. Yeah. Don't think it.
Yeah, I turned the volume up, but now I accidentally got into dialogue with a character, and now it's going to be a whole thing to get rid of it.
Let's see what else is coming.
Hold on, it's updating. Yeah, okay, so that'll be why.
Oh, yeah. So they just released it and then it's updating. Oh, wait, this is Sword of Hope 1. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, this is Sword of Hope 1. So now I'm going to get back into it.
Say that fast. Sword of Hope. Sword of Hope.
Sword of Hope.
Sword of Hope. It sounds like Sword of Hope. Like
I sort of hope
that
Sword of Hope will be good.
Yeah.
Wow, the box art is a sword coming straight to your face.
Yep. Yeah, with a rainbow.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Ooh, the letters are blooming. Very fancy graphics, guys.
Like
below the cold earth lies a mural of a dragon biting deep into the dragon's chest. A sword of hope is buried. Oh, so that's what we saw. It was the dragon's perspective. The sword coming towards it.
That's gotta hurt.
I mean, that's just my guess.
Yeah. During a sunny day.
Oh no, a disturbing spectacle occurred on the site of
a disturbing spectacle.
I doubt we're gonna get copyright claimed for having that music in here, but you know.
You can barely hear it anyway.
Oh wow, something just exploded out of what looks like a museum. The prophecy terrified the people. An arrow of red pierces the sky and darkness awakens from eternal sleep. And also the screen glitches a little bit during that transition.
Sounds like a Game Boy game.
Yeah. Oh man, this is...
Is it one of those JRPGs that takes you 10 years to actually start playing?
No, I'm into it now. But...
Oh, okay.
Oh, I have to fight a blop. I got into it. Blop struck. Fighting a blop. My HP was reduced by 1.
Sounds like Earthbound. Earthbound style.
Yeah, a little bit. I smite blop with a vicious slash.
They don't make games like that anymore.
Ooh. That death animation was kind of cool.
But this is Sword of Hope 1, not 2, right?
No, now I'm playing 2 because I just updated it.
Gotcha.
I received 1 gold and 1 experience point. Oh god, that's gonna be...
That's a grind.
Yeah, that's a... No, I don't want to talk to the king. No! Leave. Oh god, I'm in the fucking forest again, and it's the same forest graphic as in the first... Okay, so yeah, they're right. This is a so
RPG.
RPG. Yeah, it whatever. You know, whatever. And what was the last one? I saw it there and I've already forgotten.
Fortified Zone. Fortified Zone.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll do a review of that as well.
Well, they call it an okay top-down shooter from Jalico.
Hey, that's makers of the Peacekeepers.
Oh. And we know how much TJ Leo likes that game.
Mizuki Makimura in
the fortified zone.
This looks like it's going to be like Contra or something.
Well, if it's top down, maybe it's more like Akari Warriors.
Yeah. It's game mode select Sound Boy. Okay, whatever that means. But I mean, Contra has top-down sections as well.
Oh yeah,
One-player game, new game, page 1. I wish you could like fast forward these.
Especially on Game Boy, it's supposed to be portable.
Oh no, you can't move diagonally.
Oh.
Okay, this. Oh no. Oh no. This is.
So it's not as good as Akari Warriors.
Well, it's less frustrating than Akari Warriors, but it is kind of bland.
Yeah.
It kind of plays like a really, really, really old version of The Binding of Isaac, if that makes any sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's no diagonal movement. You go to rooms. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do in this room. There's just an infinite number of missiles raining down. Oh, okay. I guess I just had to shoot a bunch of them. The doors opened. And there's just enemies kind of wandering around with knives. They're just holding the knives out in front of them like a waiter holding a tray.
It always makes me curious how they pick these games for the Nintendo Online catalogs. It's like,
I am willing to bet that it's just whatever we could manage to negotiate. As there's some like truly awful stuff.
But like they have a huge first party catalog of games that they don't have on the service yet. Like just put them all out. Like what are you waiting for?
Yeah, I know. It seems like a really terrible idea, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like what? Like you're just sitting on these things. Like just put them out.
Oh, I can jump. Oh, wow.
In a top-down game? Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
You can see why I didn't expect that. Oh god, there's a tank, and it's fighting like the first boss in the original Zelda, where it just shoots 3 energy balls, in slightly different. Yeah, this is meh.
It's meh.
Yeah. So there's your 2 real-time reviews, right in the moment, right in the thick of it.
And they're both meh.
Meh.
Yeah, and then there's a Game Boy Advance 2-pack game for some strange reason, Dr. Mario and Puzzle League. So you get 2 games in 1 cartridge. Why they just didn't put them in 2 separate releases, I don't fucking know. But
probably because it was cheaper to just dump the ROM on there rather than separating them into 2 different ROMs.
Yeah, but didn't so you're saying they probably weren't released separately?
Yeah, I think it was a 2-in-1 cartridge originally.
Gotcha.
Not just like done, special for this.
All right, that leaves us with the Humble Bundle for July. Let's see how it looks here. So it kicks things off pretty strongly with one of my favorite games of the last 10 years, Sea of Stars Sunset Edition, which is what you see in here. God, this game was so good. I really would love to replay this game. It was good. It's the Chrono Trigger like. Really good.
Well, I noticed there that they called out they had music composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, who was the composer one of the composers for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. So, you need to play this game. It's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah, I should give it a shot.
Also included in this month's Humble Bundle choices: Tunic, Neon White, Police Simulator Patrol Officers, Drop Douchey.
Is that a game where you get to shoot minorities?
I actually have played Police Simulator Patrol Officers, I think. It's just one of those typical simulator games. It's fine. Sledders, Dice Folk, and Our Adventurer Guild. And that's it for the news. Go play Sea of Stars. It's really good. All right, that leads us to Screenshots Go! Screenshots Go!
Did you wait?
What?
I don't know.
Huh?
No, now what is this? This looks familiar. Could this be one of the Zelda Oracle games?
Maybe.
Because it looks kind of Game Boy Color-ish. So try Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons, whichever.
Nope. 90% though. Wow.
Could this be? Wait, could this be Mina the Hollower?
Did it get a 90? That'd be crazy.
I don't know.
It is.
Boom.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta play that. I really gotta get to that. I gotta get to a lot of games. My backlog's fucking just obnoxious at this point.
Dude, it looks so overly complicated for what it is.
What, Mina?
Yeah. I was watching some gameplay of later on in the game, and I was like, Jesus Christ, why is it this complex? It's like a Zelda-like. Why you got to do all this stuff?
Well, I'll let you know when I play it. All right, what else we got? Jesus, no idea.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. It's just orange and some slightly different orange.
Not rated. That is a cursor, so it's a PC game.
Is it, or is it just like the center of the screen, like a crosshair?
No, it's. I can see like the thumb digit sticking out here, and then like the clicker.
Okay.
But it says not rated, but it doesn't say too old.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it would be old enough to not be rated by Metacritic. All right, let's see what the next one is. Uh-oh.
So we have like a drill or something, a camera. I don't know what that
Item
is.
cabinet, maybe?
Or a lighter. And a watch. Not sure.
And that's a smartwatch, so it's a relatively recent game, but it's, oh god, is this going to be like one of these various job simulator games?
Probably. Yeah,
like
that was my
Line
guess too.
Chef Simulator or Gravel.
Oh, it's a paintball game.
Filler.
It's a paintball game.
Oh, hold on, game creation system.
What? Game creation system and oh, is it Roblox?
Well, Roblox or whatever that one that the Gary's Mod guys just made. Oh
fuck, I don't. What? Any ideas? What that is?
Well, try Roblox. Let me look up what the game is called.
No, it's 2016.
Oh, okay.
This looks like Roblox. No, the graphics are too smooth.
I don't know.
Is it a VR game? No, it's not a VR game.
I mean, it kind of looks VR-ish, but
you can just tell by how he walks around. It's not VR.
Yeah.
It's got the dot in the middle and all that stuff. I feel like I'm going to know this.
I have no idea what this is.
Oh, it's literally called Rec Room. Same as the developer.
I've never heard of it.
I think I have, but I never would have came to that conclusion. Ooh.
Oh,
that looks real familiar. Is this XCOM?
Maybe.
Like the original?
I was gonna say The Immortal. Because it kind of looks like the Genesis version of The Immortal.
Oh well, it's definitely not XCOM.
Yeah, it's not XCOM. Oh man.
Is this Birthright? No, we've had that before, haven't we?
I don't know, but haven't they started repeating games? Try it.
Oh, it's not even in here. Or was it Mistborn Birthright?
I don't know.
No. Wow, DOS Amiga PC. Is this Populous?
Oh, maybe, but I'm also wondering about Defenders of the Crown. Try Populous. I think Populous is probably the best bet.
Is it Populous at the beginning or just Populous?
I would go with just Populous.
No, it's an adventure game.
Oh God.
Walk to phosphorescent orange crystals. Oh no.
Oh God. This is like a new thing with every screenshot.
Yeah. It's a point and click adventure, clearly. I just don't know which one this would be.
Curse of Enchantia, maybe?
No, it's not in the list.
Oh God.
It's not it looks like the dig, but it's not the dig. It's too colorful.
Not the dig.
No.
No, and it's also not in space.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we had this. Is it King's Quest?
I don't think so, but
I don't know.
It looks more like a LucasArts game.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of a LucasArts game that fits the bill, but I can't think of any. Not that fits this bill.
It's not Monkey Island. It's not Loom.
No. Let's see
like
more.
You said, it's not the dig.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, I know.
We have furries. Furries.
I know this game, but I can't fucking remember what it's called.
Should I skip to see if I can get you to jog the memory?
Yeah. Oh God, I know this game. What's it called?
It looks very LucasArts. Very LucasArts.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Is it called The Dreamers? It's from the Dreamers Guild, but we're gonna get duped twice.
No. Oh God. Fuck. I cannot remember what it's called for the life of me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Inherit the Earth. Quest for the Orb.
Inherit the Earth.
I never would have got that.
Fuck. Now I remember that because it always sounds more like a sci-fi game. That it's always in my head as like, oh yeah, that's the fantasy game that sounds like a sci-fi game with a title like Inherit the Earth.
It does.
I could not fucking remember that. God damn it. I have no idea what this is. This is just a bunch of crap.
It looks like a wall.
It looks like stewed carrots. It looks like baby food.
Yes, it does. This is Stray, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Stray has a very specific look. Cool game. Its ending is a little but it's good. It's good. Especially if you like kitties. Because you get to be one.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh. Stanley Parable?
Maybe?
I feel like we've had it, but no. Oh, current gen exclusive.
Yeah.
Not too many of those. I have to know this. Like, there's
I don't know this.
Yeah, I don't, but I'm sure I will. Like, the chances of me not knowing this are pretty slim.
Survival. That looks like Left 4 Dead with the highlight around the survivor there. Like through the wall. It's like a very Left 4 Dead look.
I think. Oh wait, is this a crossbow he's holding?
Is this Back 4 Blood?
Oh, it could be. Yeah. I think that was cross platform or cross gen, but yeah, could be wrong. Yeah, that was cross gen. It's an early access. Oh, okay, maybe I won't get it. Wait, it's on current gen consoles, but it's an early access. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, it was released in early access in 2024 and then fully released in 2025.
Oh, okay. So it may have been early access PC and then came to consoles. So
yeah. I don't recognize any of this though.
Pipe Club. I haven't played it, but it could be that Ark remake. Was it Survival Evolved or something?
Maybe.
No. Deep Field Games.
I have no idea.
No. Current gen exclusive is a little weird. I figured I would know what this is, but I don't recognize it. Abiotic Factor. I've heard of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I have no idea what kind of game it was. And we're not doing good today.
No, a lot of failures.
What are we looking at? Windows on a building? Keys on a keyboard?
Yeah, I have no idea. No clue.
You got to stop making first ones that are like so completely useless. Like, why even have 6 at this point?
I mean, sometimes we get it on the first go.
Only if it's an old game.
Yeah. I still don't know what this is. 66% though. It's not a good sign.
Yeah, I have no idea.
360 exclusive.
Don't recognize this UI. Unless that's supposed to be the Predator's like laser aim thing.
No, it looks like there's 3 symbols. Because there's like a person here, and then there's like something else. It's just really blurry. I don't know.
What does that text say?
Activate scope. Press
Click
the stick. Oh, this is
Spanish stuff.
Spanish, yeah.
Okay, what's a game that takes place in either Spain or Mexico?
A first-person shooter? I was going to say Just Cause, but it's not first person.
And it's not exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah, no idea. I'm not getting anything from the UI. I'm not getting anything at all. My brain is blank on this one. Yeah. It could be like Conflict, Desert Ops.
I'm pretty sure that was set in the Middle East.
Yeah,
I think that was the desert they were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's skip to the next one.
No idea.
Yeah,
this is going to be another one that we've heard of, but I don't recognize it at all.
Yeah, I have no idea what game I'm looking at here.
I have
Wait a minute. Shadowrun.
Oh yeah, it could be that Shadowrun remake. Nice. That was a bad game.
As soon as I saw the unrealistic creature, like the clearly fantasy creature, I was like, wait a minute, I know what this is.
Oh, StarCraft.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely StarCraft.
Yeah. That's why they do these ones, because sometimes you nail it.
If it's an old game.
Yeah, your point stands. If it's an old game, we seem to get it.
It's not like we can look at those assets from any other direction. Those pixel arrangements have been burned into our brain. Now this is a good starting screen. It's not helping me because I have no idea what it is, but it's at least showing something.
It might be Ghost Trick. I know I've said that. I know I've said that on like 8 episodes and never been right.
At some point, it will end up being Ghost Trick.
Yeah. Ah, there you go.
And there it is. Today's the day.
Today's the day. It's Ghost Trick. Yeah, I've played the opening level of that game like 15 times because I'm like, this is so cool, and then I just never, I never get back to it.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's pretty, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Humor me for a moment. Try Dark Souls. I don't think it is. I think the sky looks too good, but just try it.
No.
Okay, so it's not where you go into Anne Orlando.
Oh, I think it's Horizon 2.
Right.
Yep.
Boom.
Saw that satellite dish and just kind of stuck out. The game is fucking gorgeous, man. Like, it's kind of unbelievable how beautiful that game is. Well, that's blood on a floor.
Yep.
And it's old. It's like PS
Yeah, it's also not very good blood because you can just
No.
see through it, which is not how blood works. Blood is extremely opaque.
Yeah.
Could this be like Fear 2 or something?
I don't think so, but no. 88%
Okay.
though. No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
PC exclusive.
Okay. What?
This looks better now.
What kind of game has blood splatters on the ground and then also what?
Is this like Mafia or something? No, it's PC exclusive. I don't know.
Oh.
Is this not Mafia?
Try it. There it is.
All right then.
I guess the original Mafia, yeah, that would have been PC exclusive.
It kind of holds up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. Getting something, but I'm not linking it. I'm not linking it.
Yeah.
It definitely looks familiar. But
this isn't like Dishonored or something.
I mean, we can try it, but I don't think so. The color's not right.
Okay.
Ooh, 91%?
I feel like I would recognize this. I'd played whatever this is.
Huh.
Cool design, but I'm not sure what it's from.
I was getting Uncharted vibes for a second, but I don't think this is Uncharted. Uncharted.
Try it.
Wii U?
Oh.
It looks fucking good for a Wii U game.
Bayonetta 2.
Oh, that would be why. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that mountain is a huge, like, that is where you're going in the game.
Oh, that kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
I can't believe I didn't recognize that.
Wow.
Building one. Oh, geez. This is.
You would think you would think seeing this, we'd be instantly. You would know.
Well, I think this is probably a more recent game going for a lo-fi style.
Oh, okay. Nope, it's not.
Okay. Well, then that's Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein 3D?
Yeah.
What was that thing at the beginning?
I'm not sure.
Damn it. We'll never know now.
It can't be a map screen. Oh, wait. What? Oh, I know what it is. It's a chandelier. And they've cropped out.
Oh, on the roof, and it's okay. Yeah. I see it now.
It's cropped so you could,
I see it now.
Yeah.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That is the 99th episode of Press Pause Gaming Podcast. If you want to reach me on the socials, I'm at TJ-Leo on BlueSky.
And I am at Ninjas on BlueSky.
You can email in your questions to be featured on the show to co.op.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and join us on the Co-op Club Discord community server where you can find myself and so many others talking about gaming, wrestling, and more. And of course, patreon.com.
This feels like the longest episode we've ever recorded, even though it's not.
It's because we were on one topic for so long.
Well, and because it was a shitty topic to talk about, it's just, it feels like we've been here for a million years.
That's why I got to end the show with Screenshot Scope.
Yeah.
It brings the mood back up. Patreon.com/co-op entertainment, where you can throw us $1 a month to help support the channel.
Or a few if you want to. Actually, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
Limit it to one.
Yeah, I limited it to $1. Okay. For now. But one day. You never know. Until next time. Get back to gaming.
and hopefully not firing thousands of employees.